Imagine it, the moment everything starts to fall apart, hundreds of thousands of miles from home. An oxygen tank explodes on the Apollo 13 spacecraft, and suddenly, 3 astronauts are fighting for their lives in darkness and silence. Their ship, once full of hope and adventure, is now a ticking clock of failures. Carbon dioxide is filling the cabin, slowly poisoning them. It is a frightening, almost unthinkable situation. But here is the wild part. The engineers did not just sit there, waiting for luck or praying for a miracle. They looked at that chaos and did what seemed impossible. They came up with a fix using duct tape, a plastic bag, and a sock. That is right, a sock. And the question you are probably wondering is, how do you fix something when you cannot even touch it? How do you solve an almost impossible problem with so little to work with? That's what we're here to understand. Because the truth is, every big challenge in life, no matter how overwhelming it seems, can be tackled just like those engineers did that day. And the secret is not about being super smart or lucky, it is about shifting how you think. Think about the last time you had a goal that felt way too big, like a mountain you had to climb but could not see the top. Maybe it was a project at work, studying for a tough exam, or launching an idea you just could not visualize. You look up and see this massive wall in front of you, right? It is so tall, so terrifying, that your brain just stalls, confused and overwhelmed. That feeling? It is your mind hitting a wall. But why does that happen? The truth is, your brain is a genius at solving small puzzles. But when it faces the giant, complex problem all at once, there is too much to process. You get stuck, freeze, and often, sooner or later, walk away. Now, here is a little secret from engineers. They do not stare at the wall. Instead, they see tiny bricks, small steps. They understand that a huge problem looks scary only because we try to swallow it whole, but breaking it into manageable pieces is where real power lies. Let me break down the special trick engineers use, something you can start doing today. First, they ask, what does this problem really need to do? For example, if you are designing a bridge, it does not need to be a perfect masterpiece from the start. Instead, it needs to support weight, resist wind, and let cars pass safely. Simple functions. Not dozens of complicated tasks, just a few main ones. Next, they look at constraints. They ask, what are the limits? This is not about dreaming big, it is about understanding your actual resources. You might have a few hours a week, a modest budget, or limited skills. Constraints shape your options, make your focus sharper, and stop you from wasting time on impossible ideas. Then, they think about connections. How do each of these small parts talk to each other? If one fails, what happens? If part A is supporting weight, what happens if it cracks? What links this piece to that piece? It is like chess. Every move affects the next. When things go wrong, that is normal. Engineers do not get frustrated. They build a quick, rough version, test it, see what fails, then try again. Fail early, fix fast is the key. Finally, they stay flexible. When something does not work, they do not get stubborn. They change course, they adapt. That is how progress is made. Now, go back to Apollo 13. The explosion was not just a mechanical failure. It spiraled into chaos. The spaceship was dying, and the astronauts were running out of time and air. In that moment, the engineers had to get creative. They looked at what they had: spare filters, plastic, duct tape, hoses, even a sock. The challenge was not just to make a filter fit, it was to attach a square filter to a round socket with minimal materials, under immense pressure, and with no time. They saw the problem through their system. The main goal was airflow, so they broke it down into how can we connect this square filter to that round hole? Just one tiny step at a time. They built a rough adapter literally with their hands, cardboard, tape, plastic, whatever was available. They did not aim for perfection. They aimed to get it working quick and simple. And it worked. The carbon dioxide levels dropped. The astronauts kept breathing. They could not fix everything perfectly, but they did what really mattered, solving the immediate life or death issue. That moment was a masterclass in breaking complexity into tiny problems, fixing what you can, and staying flexible. Now, think about your own life. Maybe you are dreaming of starting a big project. It feels overwhelming, creating a product, reaching customers, handling money. You see the mountain and want to give up. But what if you broke that big dream into small steps? First, ask, what one thing needs to happen first? Maybe it is just talking to one potential customer or building a simple prototype. Then look at what limits you. Maybe it is time or experience. Great. Use what you have, not what you wish you had. Next, think about the connections. How does talking to a customer lead you to sales? How does a simple website lead to future growth? Map those steps. Next, build a tiny version. Just a simple page or a quick email. Test it. See what works. Fail fast, learn fast. And when things go wrong, do not get discouraged. Change one small thing and try again. Always focus on the small problem in front of you rather than the huge mountain. This way, overwhelming challenges turn into a series of small, solvable tasks. But the reality is, all those impossible problems, whether it is space travel or launching a startup, are only impossible in your mind. Your brain gets overwhelmed because it is overwhelmed. But if you zoom in, stay flexible, and handle just one small thing at a time, you will realize you are more capable than you think. The astronauts in Apollo 13 did not fix their spaceship overnight. They just fixed one tiny leak, built one simple adapter, and took one step at a time. And because they did, they made it back alive. So next time you face something that seems too big or too hard, remember, break it down. Focus on the next tiny step, then the next, and the next. Because that is how humans accomplish the impossible. Because the truth is not about being smarter, it is about thinking smarter. And now you know how to do it.